Well, I think it's bad for the club because obviously he only came 2 months ago, but he puts the procedures in place, and we all thought that he was having a good effect on the team. We'd started to play quite well. Picked up a few good performances, put a few good results, played well in a few of the games, and even though I'd only been at the club for a short time, there were signs that it was going to sort of be a success at Blackpool. I mean, we were all upset when Ian Holloway left, but obviously he went for pastures new, and we can't blame Appleton for leaving because he's gone to Blackburn, who were probably a bigger club, more money. So we can't blame him for that. Now it's just a case of trying to find the right man to replace him.
You say you were starting to change your form and pick up results. He'd only won 2 games in the time he was there, with two losses and a lot of draws. I mean, is there any way that this could be a good thing for the club?
In some ways, yeah, I suppose, because obviously we hadn't won that many games, but in the same way, we had started to play quite well. The fans were happy with the way things were going. He was, a good talker. He seemed to really like the club. In all the interviews, he was really passionate about his job. He seemed to really care for Blackpool, and we thought that he'd come here and maybe sort of like, have the same success that someone like Ian Holloway had, because he was a good manager here as well. And we thought that Appleton had come in and could do a good job because he's only a young manager. He'd come with a lot of promise from Portsmouth, but unfortunately, money talks, and he's gone to Blackburn now, and we wish him good luck, but it's just upsetting for us.
Obviously, with any new manager coming in, it's difficult. Got to take time to get to know the team. But how much does it affect losing a manager in a transfer window?
I think it does massively, because he will definitely have had transfer targets in mind. He's been here for a couple of months, so initially he won't have been able to sort of put his own stamp on things. But coming into January, he will have had the chance to do that, and obviously he will have made plans to sign players at the club who knows he may even go and sign them for Blackburn now. So that is disappointing because it kind of disrupts that, and we've not got a manager in place at the moment, with probably half of the window gone already. So any new manager that does come in, even if they came in, say, tomorrow, they'd still only have a couple of weeks to, settle into the job, get a few targets in mind, and then actually go out and sign those players. So, it does disrupt things on that part. But, if the right man does come in and he's given the right resources, the right money, and he's able to sort of do what he wants to do, then I think we should be all right.
Obviously, it was only 2 months he was at the club. He had signed a 3-year contract, and after 2 months leaves. Is there a point in managers having contracts?
Well, I mean, you do see a lot of managers that sign long contracts at clubs and don't seem to honour that. I mean, it happens with players as well. I mean, there's nothing we can really do about that. If a bigger club does come in for a manager or a player like Blackburn did with Appleton, then there's not really anything you can do about that. They've come in offering him more money, probably a more secure job. They're arguably a bigger team. They've got a bigger stadium, bigger fan base, more Premier League history. I mean, they won the Premier League 15 years ago. So they are a bigger club, and they are local as well. So he could have even stayed in his own house, where he was living in Blackpool or in the surrounding areas. But there's nothing we can do about that. We have offered him a contract, as we do to every other manager, every other player, and we just hope that they do sort of honour that. But there's nothing we can do if he decides to go against that. When the new guy comes in, I'm sure we'll give him a 3-4 year contract, and that doesn't mean to say that he'll be here for 3 or 4 years. He may only be here for a year. He may only be here for 2 months. Maybe only be here for a month. But who knows? But yeah, I mean, hopefully the new guy that does come in, we will give him a fairly lengthy contract, and hopefully he will honour that.
Okay, if you had the choice of anyone, counting only realistic targets, who would you go for as your next manager?
It's hard to tell because we probably wouldn't be able to go for someone that's currently in a job at the moment. So we'd have to go for someone who's on the market. I mean, at the moment it's hard to see who's sort of like who would be willing to come. Normally, when you lose your manager, you get people that come out and say that they'd be willing to be sort of considered for the role. But someone like Paul Ince is someone who I like. He's had success at MK Dons. He's managed in the Premier League with Blackburn. He's played for Manchester United, Liverpool, England, and obviously his son Tom Ince is at the club as well. So maybe he'll help to get the best out of him. So I think someone like him would be good. Sean O'Driscoll's recently left Nottingham Forest and he was doing a brilliant job. He got sacked after beating Leeds, which was a big shock. And I think he is a very good manager. He did well at Doncaster earlier in his career as well. So someone of that ilk, really. I mean, it probably wouldn't be realistic to get somebody who's maybe gone from one of the Premier League clubs recently, because we can't realistically afford their wages, or Blackpool as a town can't really motivate people to come from, a big club to Blackpool. But hopefully whoever does come in will have a good list of contacts. They'll be given the right amount of money to succeed, and they'll be able to bring some good players to the club, and hopefully it'll help us continue on our push to get into the Premier League.